with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision I must make. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision I must make. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. My mind holds only what I think with God. Lesson 149 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students here on Tuesday, May the 28th of 2024. I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, sitting on a hilltop overlooking Spring River where it joins up with Neosho River just downstream a few meters, and that forms Grand Lake. For the ones around here in the Ozarks and Oklahoma, it's Twin Bridges State Park. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. My mind holds only what I think with God. You guys have been saying that to yourself if you've been trying to do your lesson as Jesus wants us to every hour of the day for the last 8 days, and it was the 9th day. And then 5 minutes with that idea in the morning and 5 minutes at night. And then today you'll add, after those 5 minutes morning and night and those hourly remembrances, you'll add lesson 137 and 138. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Lesson 137, and heaven is the decision I must make. You know, you'll make it to heaven, and you don't have to die to get there. You make it to heaven by making the decision to pick up your cross daily and follow Jesus, follow Great Spirit, follow your inner guide, follow God, the Holy Spirit, whatever. Well, you know, if you're another persuasion and you have another name for the inner guidance, the light that created us and leads us every moment of the day, well, then use whatever name works for you. But since we're using this curriculum, we'll follow the Holy Spirit's guidance. The term I like to think of it as the Great Holy Spirit. You know, the combination of Great Spirit and Holy Spirit, it's the Great Holy Spirit. Anyway, my mind holds only what I think with God. Well, he really wants us to recognize that that's the only reality that we really have, is what we share with God. That's what we share with each other and everyone, and that's what heaven is. So our lesson today is, when I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. And we've got, it's Amnesty International Day. Pardon for people, forgiven today. Pardon for people, Forgiveness Day. International Hamburger Day. Amnesty International. I like to just think of as Pardon for People or Forgiveness Day. National or International Hamburger Day, Menstrual Hygiene Day, National Brisket Day, Slugs Return from Capistrano Day. That's, I think, is more of just a fun, but it's I looked it up, and it's to help bring awareness that slugs have a role in our ecology as decomposers or recyclers. And then Whooping Crane Day. And in 1941, there were only 21 whooping cranes left in North America, which is where they're native to. I understand now there's over 800 of them. But anyway, that's something good to keep in mind about whooping cranes. And those are the Grus americanas. There's also the sandhill crane, which aren't endangered, which live here in the Ozarks, and that's the Antgon canadensis. And then there's the common crane, the grus. So anyway, just a little bit about cranes here on Whooping Crane Day. And then it's also the Ascension of Baha'u'llah, which is the Baha'i celebration. And Baha'u'llah ended up, he passed on to the unseen world, across the Great Divide in 1892. He said he agrees with us that, or we agree with him, that peace is the greatest achievement of mankind. Supreme goal of mankind is Islah, the Persian word for peace, another Persian word for peace. Being that the Baha'u'llah was from Iran or Persia. He says peace was achieved through mutual respect, understanding, and dialogue. And that he says that's the new era for mankind. Instead of, fighting for your rights, we're going to use our minds and think about what is right and do what's good. It's the time to live a little higher than just fighting over things like children. Okay, so Islah is our word for peace out of Persian. And then in edible landscaping, we've got the sweetheart cherry. And the sweetheart cherry, it says it's a Prunus avium. The sweetheart is a large, bright red, taste test winning fruit. Sweetheart is self-fertile and can be planted alone. Because of its consistently high yields, Sweetheart will be our replacement for Stella cherry. Space on an 18-foot circle, zones 5 through 9. So your Sweetheart cherry. Now let's go take a look at, I wonder if I made enough statement about what I wanted to talk about. What's our time? I think we're looking okay. Our lesson, 137, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. You might use that when you're having a difficulty or a trial with one of your brothers and sisters. You can say, I am healed when, and name that person when they're healed. And realize that your mutual progress is what's going to get to heaven. You're going to get to heaven, and so are they together. No one gets to heaven empty-handed. You got to hold on to your brother and sister's hand. And there can't be anyone that you're not willing to hold their hand. So we want to go to heaven because that's where that's the only place we're going to be happy is heaven. And the way we get there is the decision we make. And you might think of it this way in today's lesson. It's the decision we make to see our brothers as ourself and our sisters as ourself. Love your neighbor as yourself has a very practical application. Okay, well, now let's go look in our text reading, which is in the Reward of Teaching, in which is in chapter 16, Forgiveness of Illusions, section 3, the Reward of Teaching. We have already learned that everyone teaches and teaches all the time. You may have taught well, and yet you may not have learned how to accept the comfort of your teaching. If you will consider what you have taught and how alien it is to what you thought you knew, you will be compelled to realize that your teacher came from beyond your thought system. Therefore, he could look upon it fairly and perceive it was untrue. He came from beyond the thought system. He's not locked into it, so he can look at it from outside and see the reality or the illusion of it. He must have done so from the basis of a very different thought system and one with nothing in common with yours. For certainly, what he has taught let me do it one more time. For certainly what he has taught and what you have taught through him have nothing in common with what you taught before he came. And the results have been to bring peace where there was pain, and suffering has disappeared to be replaced by joy. Paragraph 2. You may have taught freedom, but you have not learned how to be free. I said earlier, by their fruits ye shall know them, and they shall know themselves. For it is certain that you judge yourself according to your teaching. The ego's teaching produces immediate results because its decisions are immediately accepted as your choice. And this acceptance means that you are willing to judge yourself accordingly. Cause and effect are very clear in the ego's thought system because all your learning has been directed toward establishing the relationship between them. Cause and effect, read that again. Cause and effect are very clear in the ego's thought system because all your learning has been directed toward establishing the relationship between cause and effect. You think, okay, I've got to do this because otherwise this is going to happen. And we believe there's a world of cause and effect, but it's in an illusion that we need to get outside of that to see that there is another type of cause and effect that is very sweet and loving. And would you not have faith in what you have so diligently taught yourself to believe? Yet remember how much care you have exerted in choosing its witnesses and in avoiding those which spoke for the cause of truth and its effects. Paragraph 3. Does not the fact that you have not learned what you have taught show you that you do not perceive the sonship as one? And does it not also show that you do not regard yourself as one? For it is impossible to teach successfully wholly without conviction, and it is equally impossible that conviction be outside of you. You could never have taught freedom unless you did believe in it, and it must be that what you taught came from yourself. Yet this self you clearly do not know, and do not recognize it even though it functions. What functions must be there, and it is only if you deny what it has done that you could possibly deny its presence. Paragraph 4. This is a course on how to know yourself. You have taught what you are, but have not let what you are teach you. You have taught what you are, but you have not let what you are teach you. You have been very careful to avoid the obvious and not to see the real cause and effect relationship that is perfectly apparent. Yet within you is everything you taught. What can it be that has not learned it? It must be this part that is really outside yourself, not by your own projection, but in truth. And it is this part that you have taken in that is not you. What you accept into your mind does not really change it. Illusions are but beliefs in what is not there. Okay, there's the definition of an illusion, isn't it? And a good definition? A belief in what is not there. And the seeming conflict between truth and illusion can only be resolved by separating yourself from the illusion and not from truth. 5. Your teaching has already done this, for the Holy Spirit is part of you. Created by God, He left neither God nor His creation. He is both God and you, as you are God and Him together. For God's answer to the separation added more to you than you tried to take away. He protected both your creations and you together, keeping one with you what you would exclude. And they will take the place of what you took in to replace them. They are quite real, as part of the self you do not know. They communicate to you through the Holy Spirit, and their power and gratitude to you for their creation they offer gladly to your teaching of yourself, who is their home. You who are hosts to God are also hosts to them, for nothing real has ever left the mind of its Creator, and what is not real was never there. Paragraph 6. You are not two selves in conflict. You are not two selves in conflict. What is beyond God? What is beyond God? If you who hold Him and whom He holds are the universe, all else must be outside where nothing is. You have taught this, and from far off in the universe, yet not beyond yourself, the witnesses to your teaching have gathered to help you learn. Their gratitude has joined with yours and God's to strengthen your faith in what you taught, for what you taught is true. Alone you stand outside your teaching and apart from it. But with them you must learn that you but taught yourself, and learned from the conviction you shared with them. Paragraph 7. This year we will begin to learn and make learning commensurate with teaching. You know, that's why I like to think of myself as a, if there was anything I could teach, it would be how to be a good student. So that's why I try to just do my lesson online as I'm waking up and learning. Maybe I can inspire some of you all to do the Course in Miracles. A lot of you have had the book on the shelf for years, but you haven't really got it out. It's so hard to get through it for some of us. Well, maybe I can make it a little easier, but just do what it says. It's not asking that much. 6-7 minutes in the morning, 6-7 minutes in the evening, and a minute every hour of the day, and then take the time to read the lesson. But that's not that much. How long does it take to read it? I usually give myself about 5 minutes a page. So that's, we're reading 2 pages today. So, another little bit of time for the reading. And then just to try to do it. But you exchange nothing, or the world of illusions, for truth. I was going to say you change nothing for everything. What a bargain you can't lose. This year we will begin to learn and make learning commensurate with teaching. You have chosen this by your own willingness to teach. Though you seem to suffer for it, the joy of teaching will yet be yours. For the joy of teaching is in the learner, who offers it to the teacher in gratitude and shares it with him. As you learn, your gratitude to yourself, who teaches you what he is, will grow and help you honor him. And you will learn his power and strength and purity and love him as his Father does. His kingdom has no limits and no end, and there is nothing in him that is not perfect and eternal. All this is you, and nothing outside of this is you. Wow, we're one with God is what he's trying to get us to see. Okay, paragraph 8. To your most holy self, all praise is due for what you are and for what He is who created you as you are. Sooner or later, must everyone bridge the gap he imagines exists between his selves. We think of me and then my friend or my, a neighbor or even somebody who thinks of themselves as an enemy. I don't personally have any enemies, but there's people that may think I'm their enemy. But it's my job to bridge the gap and realize that no, that's me. That's another manifestation of me. And I need to accept myself as myself. So with that in mind, let me read that again. To your most holy self, all praise is due for what you are and for what He is who created you as you are. Sooner or later must everyone bridge the gap he imagines exists between his selves. And you could also consider the selves the different parts of the mind, the different parts of your own self. The happy self, the sad self, you know what I'm saying, all those different selves. Well, there's a one true self, and we want to bring them all rolled up into one self. So he says, sooner or later must everyone bridge the gap he imagines exists between his selves. Each one builds this bridge, which carries him across the gap as soon as he is willing to expend some little effort on behalf of bridging it. Are you willing to put out that little effort? Like I told you, that little effort, just an hourly remembrance and a little short meditation in the morning and the evening. And if you spend longer, that'd be better. And, if you could spend 15 minutes morning and evening, you'll develop it, and you'll find that it's a great moment of your day that you'll just love and feel like something's not complete unless you've spent that time with yourself, with God. That's the little effort that you'll have to, how does he say it? Let's just look at it one more time. Sooner or later must everyone bridge the gap he imagines exists between his selves. Each one builds this bridge, which carries him across the gap as soon as he is willing to expend some little effort on behalf of bridging it. His little efforts are powerfully supplemented by the strength of heaven and by the united will of all who make heaven what it is, being joined within it. And so the one who would cross over is literally transported there. We've got lots of help. You just put out that little effort, and the strength of heaven will literally transport you there. Do your part. And the last paragraph, paragraph 9, to finish this section. Your bridge is builded stronger than you think, and your foot is planted firmly on it. Have no fear that the attraction of those who stand on the other side and wait for you will not draw you safely across. For you will come where you would be and where yourself awaits you. Okay, well that sounds just really wonderful, isn't it? So all those that have crossed on before us will be waiting for us to literally help us along, as well as those that we didn't know they would be there to help us along. Isn't that a beautiful view of the Spring River? It's been going into the Grand Lake of the Cherokees here in Oklahoma. Okay, well, let's close with our song. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. I must make. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision I must make. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision I must make. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision I must make. Well, let's make that decision and not change our minds. And stay fixed on our own cheerfulness, our happiness, our peace of mind, our, as they say in Persian, our Islah, our peace. My mind holds only what I think with God. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. Islah.